Now, the idea of the paradigm is quite simply the group of possible signs that we can select from. In these two photos, we have classic examples of paradigms in everyday life. The top photo is, of course, a buffet. We could think of a buffet as a paradigm of food, a whole range of different food items that we select from in order to create our meal. Or we could think of a menu as a paradigm of food as well. The photo below our buffet is someone's wardrobe. Again, a wardrobe is another very good everyday example of a paradigm. So here we have someone's wardrobe: dresses, blouses, shoes, pants. From those, the person selects their clothes and produces the outfit that they're going to wear. A paradigm is just a group of possible signs that we have available to us that we can select from. Now, why the idea of the paradigm is important is that when a sign is changed in our selection from a paradigm, that can change the overall meaning of a text. That idea becomes more concrete when we consider the notion of the syntagm. A syntagm is a collection of signs which are arranged in a way that creates meaning. Now, the important thing about a syntagm is that the way the signs are arranged is not random. It's governed by codes and conventions that govern the appropriate use of signs. There is nothing random about the way a syntagm is created or about the way signs are selected from various paradigms and arranged into a syntagm. The way in which meaning is made in a syntagm is through codes and conventions. So to extend our examples of the buffet and the wardrobe, we know that when we were growing up, our parents probably said to us on more than one occasion that you don't get to eat your dessert unless you eat your vegetables. So even though we can go up to our buffet and select anything we want, there are codes and conventions which govern appropriate behavior and the appropriate order in which we have our meal at a buffet. Of course, when we were children, this idea became irrelevant when you went to Sizzler when it was still around, and then people seemed to do whatever they wanted. But in conventional society, at least, we eat our appetizer or entree first, then we eat our main course, and then we eat dessert. Those are the codes and conventions of what's considered acceptable and appropriate. And because of that, our parents used that little threat to us as children to get us to eat our greens. Similarly, there are certain rules and conventions which govern what appropriate dressing means. Once upon a time, the idea of wearing stripes and checks, particularly stripes and checks which clashed in the way this guy in the photo was doing, would be considered a very poor arrangement of elements from the paradigm of our wardrobe into the syntagm of our outfit. Historically, good taste stipulated that you shouldn't wear checks and stripes together. The important thing here is to understand that codes and conventions change. Here, we have this gentleman wearing stripes and checks in a range of colours, and we would consider him to be well-dressed, fashionable, and very stylish. So the important thing to bear in mind is that because they are socially produced, codes and conventions change over time. There's an element of history to our understanding of codes and conventions. To understand the way in which paradigm and syntagm operates, let's consider the sentence. A sentence is used in semiotic theory as the archetypal example of a syntagm. Let's look at the paradigmatic choices we can make for various words in a sentence to understand how they change the meaning. So here we have the classic cliched sentence, "The cat sat on the mat." Each word here has been selected from a paradigm of possible words and arranged into a syntagm. We can change words in the syntagm and the meaning of the sentence will change. We could refer to our cat as the moggy. We could say perched rather than sat. We could say doorstep rather than mat. These words create a slightly different meaning. Perhaps now we have an image of a stray cat. Or maybe it's a cat that roams the streets sitting on someone's doorstep, maybe waiting for their owner to come home or trying to guilt a neighbour into giving them some food or to let them in. Different paradigmatic choices create different meanings. So this is my cat, Professor Binks, lounged on his pink rug. which he does very regularly and gets very upset when Pink Rug gets washed. I made the foolish attempt a little while ago to replace Pink Rug because it's about 10 years old now and he's getting a little bit feral, but he was very displeased. So here we have another image of a cat engaging in everyday behavior. But this is my cat, so he has a name, and from that we get a sense of his personality, lounged as opposed to sat. He's pretty lazy, he's chilling out here, so his implies ownership and some sort of emotional connection to the rug. That's more personal and creates a sense of the type of animal he is and also the type of relationship that I, as his owner, have with him. So, different words, different paradigmatic choices arranged into a syntagm can have a very significant impact on the meaning of a media text. And I want to stop for a moment and let that point sink in for you. The selection and arrangement of signs can influence the meaning of a text. So that's why we're interested in syntagm and paradigm. The paradigmatic and syntagmatic choices we make become important for producing meaning. Let's explore this significance in relation to this advertisement for Axe shower gel. Axe is the American name for Lynx shower gel and male grooming products. Internationally, the ads have always been a little bit controversial and a little bit edgy, often criticised for being sexist. Here we have the slogan, "The cleaner you are, the dirtier you get." The meaning's pretty obvious, but there has been a particular selection of the words, such as clean and dirty here. The slogan or the tagline, "The more you use Axe shower gel, the more likely you are that women will want to have sex with you," just really doesn't have the same impact, does it? It's clumsy. You've got to take a big breath to get through that sentence. And the ad doesn't have the same impact without the double entendre. Any changes in the paradigmatic selection of words and their syntagmatic arrangement will very definitely impact upon the meaning of a text and the impact that text has on us as an audience. That's very important, particularly in persuasive forms of communication such as advertising, public relations, and marketing. Another example is headline and caption writing in journalism.